What is up, everybody? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. I want to take a look at a set of JBL earbuds that I picked up here recently with you guys. So let's jump into it. All right, I know earbuds are not everybody's thing in the EDC community. I love them and I use them a ton. So I was very interested in the JBL Tour Pro 2s. The big draw to me was the remote control that is integrated into the case, which we will dive into here in just a moment. Now, the big thing about these were I wanted to make sure a couple of things. One, that they're easy to get out of the case. They're okay. They're better than the Tour Buds Pro, but is it the Tour Buds? Whatever the fat ones are. Can't remember the name of them. Editor, I'm sorry, you're going to have to fix that. But they're not as easy to get out of the case as the Live Pro 2. Now, they do come with the small, medium that's on here and large fitments here to make sure that you get a proper seal for the noise canceling. And they do have a sensor here where you can program it to, if you take one out, like if someone's talking to you, and you want to pull that out so you can hear them, it will pause whatever it is that you're listening to if it is able to be paused. There are several microphones on here. There's the talking mic, and there are other little mics on here that help with the noise canceling. I am having a hard time seeing them. They also have, and I know it's going to be really hard to see here, so I'll try to get it in the B-roll, but they have some laser engraving on here. Unfortunately, due to the color combo here, it is really hard to see them. Now, they do sit in the ear. Well, but what I will say is they don't wear well for long periods of time, and the shape is a little bit different than the Live Pro 2. I think the beams are the closest to the Live Pro 2 as far as being more contoured for my particular ear. I'm not saying that they're uncomfortable, but what I had to learn to do was not to push these in as far. These actually kind of sit like where it's loose. You just push it in just slightly past that and not as far into the ear, and it gets a good seal and it can be comfortable for a reasonable amount of time. Sound quality, excellent. The customization for the EQ and everything is also really good. The sounds, I really do enjoy them. At low volumes, they perform well and they give a good range. And then at high volumes, it does a good job of kind of balancing out to where they're not going to be so overwhelming with bass and or highs. They do blend well, very well together. And that's one of the things that I think JBL is very well known for. Controls are your standard tap, pause, tap, play, and then double tap to fast forward on the right, double tap on the left to rewind if you can rewind your content. And then I think there is on the right one tap for your activation of noise canceling and or ambient aware. And I think double tap on the left activates talk through, which really drops the volume by 50% so that you can talk with them in without having to take them out. But you would want the I think the talk through actually deactivates the noise canceling. I could be wrong on that. Editor, I'm sorry, you're going to have to correct me on that if that is the case. And then I think triple tap activates your AI assistant of whatever type of product that you have. Now, when it comes to the remote, here's why I think this is a bit of a win and why I might go to the beams to try those out and away from the tours and see which one fits better and then keep whatever one I like out of those two and to get rid of these. But the remote, I do like this. Now, it does take the battery life. I know it does. These charge fast, by the way. Before I get to the remote, I do apologize. It charges really quickly. Both the earbuds charging up, and they have good battery life on them. And then I think it lasts a full 40 hours all in with everything. And then the case charges really fast. One thing that's annoying before we get into any of the controls here is the fact that the clock, for whatever reason, I cannot get the clock to sync up exactly. So right now it's saying it is 4:12 and it's actually 4:16. So I can never get this to sync up quite right. Even when like I said, when I take them out and let it sync back up, as you can see, they are connected now. It is saying again still 412 and it's actually 416. So don't know how to fix that. Now back to the controls. The reason I like this, if you have your phone propped up and you don't want to pick it up to turn the volume up and down or to pause it. That's where I think this really comes into play, right? So you don't have to actually grab your phone to access controls. You can have this set to the side if you're at your desk working, watching something, and you want to control it from here. Again, pause, play, fast forward, rewind. You also have volume control, so you don't have to touch the screen and have everything kind of pop up in front of whatever it is that you're watching. And then you have your active noise canceling, your ambient aware, and your talk through features here that you can activate and control. You can change your EQ here. You can also do a timer. And then you can do your spatial awareness sounds. Spatial awareness, like on the instance on the right here for gaming, it bumps up the latency so you don't have the lag and the delay, which is a really nice feature that I like about this. And then you also have like movie and music mode. So the music mode may play the sounds differently towards your ears, and then your movie mode may do like sound effects, like somebody shooting off in the distance off the left. It's going to emphasize that more on your left side to kind of give you that immersive feel. So I do like those features about it. I do like the timer on here cutting off. This is your control now for the remote itself. So you can turn the brightness up or down. I have it as low as it'll go. You can change your wallpaper, which really I don't care. Voice aware, when you change that to voice aware, you can change it to how much the volume will cut down. Do you want to cut it down to 50%, which is what I like? Cut some music in half so you can hear. Or if you listen to your music low, you may want to have it high. If you listen to your music high, you want to change it to low. So I think you get the gist. Auto pause play, you can cut that on again if you want it, where you take the earbud out and then that will pause the music automatically. Can be handy. I have it off right now, but I don't really have a preference of either way. You can change the way the notifications come through. So lots and lots and lots of stuff. Find my earbud, the light, the screen has a flashlight on it. So there's a lot of customization to this that I do like. So I am going to check out the Beam. I think they're the Beam Pro 2 or 3. I'm not sure which one it is. And watch to see when they go on sale again. I like JBL because they do run sales during the major holidays, so you can potentially find these at a much more affordable price. So I'm going to keep an eye out for those, grab them, and to check these out. Now, an alternative recommendation that I have for these, if you're not willing to spend slightly over $100 when these are on sale, I think right now, because the 3s are out, the 2 is like $149, and I still think that's a very reasonable price. Build quality, sound, performance, battery life, and everything on here are really, really good. So I do appreciate that. Not quite sure what this does. Maybe it resets the clock. Not a chance. But alternatively, what I do like, it doesn't have a screen on it, but these are typically under $50 and exceptional value for money. These are the CMF Pro 2. Buds Pro 2, sorry, Buy Nothing. These are really nice. They come in black, they come in white, blue. I think they even have some orange, I think. So I like these. These are much easier to pull out of the case. These are shaped like my Live Pro 2s. These are more like a teardrop shape. I don't know what else to call it, or maybe it's a pear shape. These, for me personally, are extremely comfortable. The magnet on here is really good. They're not going to fall out easily. The controls are a little bit different, but the app on this one lets you customize the right bud, the left bud, and the remote control case. Now, this is more of a manual clicky case, so pause, play is one click, and then you can set the other ones, and you do have a volume control. So everything that I said that I liked about this with the touchscreen remote, you got a manual remote on here that you can do, so you do not have to touch the phone, tablet, whatever you're watching, to access those features. Now, I don't know about on a laptop, haven't tested it on a laptop to see if that would work, but I imagine that it would. So this would be my alternative recommendation. But the Live Pro 2s, the Tour Pro 2s are really good. They sound really good. They perform really well, and they got a good battery life. But I think I have learned with these are not quite pear-shaped. These kind of have like a step to them. So this part is pear-shaped, but it's not rounded. It kind of comes to a stop. And I think that's what's putting the pressure, is the fact that it does have this kind of step up and push out on the actual, I don't know what you call this part of the ear, but right here is where I feel that pressure is kind of pushing it out more than I like. Whereas just the roundness of that pear shape that you have on the Live Pro 2 and the Pros 2 by CMF or by Nothing, they pair down so it's more contoured and it just kind of nestles in there, and it's really, really comfortable. I also like the fact that it looks like the Beam and the Live Pro 2 have the same type of access to be able to pull them out. I mean, they're not awful to get out. I'm just saying comparatively, these with large hands like myself, you got to really pinch down to grip them to get them out. Adversely, I will say the magnets do a good job of keeping them in there so they don't fall out if this were to bounce and hit the ground. That's it. My review of the JBL Tour Pro 2. I think they're solid. My other recommendations are where I would push you and steer you towards. These are good. If you don't have a comfort issue with your ears, these stay in there really secure. I think those steps keep them from falling out. I'll link them down below. The links help the channel if you're interested. That is totally up to you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. Comments help the algorithm. I'm out of here, guys. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that may change their life. Catch you on the next one. Peace.